Now I'm moving on to talk about how to build your roadmap. And I've been giving this talk, sharing this thinking for quite some time now. And when I talk to customers about this, it is like the feedback I get is, wow, this is exactly what we needed for moving our environment forward, for having the insights into where we are and where we should go. And this is the tool, actually. I'm going to show you a tool and a process for how to build your own roadmap. Especially on a manager level and an architect level, to have these insights is invaluable. And I also want to enable those without admin access to have the full overview. Before I start, though, I want to share a story with you. I want to set the stage for the why. And I am going to show you this. This is your brain. And as you're about to fall asleep in the night, in the evening, hopefully, your brain starts processing. Your brain starts figuring out what to keep from the day and also what to remove. It's decluttering, and I know you have, as you were about to fall asleep, like, oh, I got the answer for this question now. Oh yeah, I was going to do that today. And sometimes your brain goes boom. And you remember that you read an article earlier today talking about organizations shutting down because of ransomware attacks. And you remember that you were going to look into how you can be more protected against ransomware. And then suddenly you're wide awake, and your brain goes more over to being more red, right? Being a bit more worried, and you sleep better tonight. I remember actually the IT administrator at Microsoft in the 2000s, I believe. This was before the cloud got became mainstream, and he got asked by the audience. I think it was TechEd or something like that. He got asked like, you administer Microsoft IT. You're running dog food. Dog food is when you are running early versions of software being developed and you have demanding users needing uptime. How do you sleep at night? You know what his answer was? I sleep like a baby. Wake up every minute or every hour and scream out loud. Because, yeah, it was a bad state. And you don't have to worry about that, because Microsoft is taking care of the cloud for you. But there are still things you need to think about. You need to think about access. You need to think about your devices, your data, how your users are consuming that data. That's what you need to think about. So I have a ransomware here. This is a ransomware, and this guy can come in and shut down your organization, maybe. Come in and disrupt your services. And when this guy has better phone support than your ISP, you should be worried. It is a serious issue. So we need to make sure that we are on a path, at least, to be more protected. I'm not saying that you can be like 100% protected or something, but the important part here is the process, that you are on the path. Because if you're just reacting to everything, you are not in control. It is very stressful. And what if you could be in a state where you could sleep better, think less about that? I introduced to you Microsoft Lists. What? Microsoft Lists, you said? Well, isn't that just Excel in SharePoint? How can that help me sleep better at night? I say great question, super great question. And I'm saying this is Excel on acid. Because you can measure it, you can trigger on it, you can do conditional formatting on it, you can hide stuff. But the most important thing is the triggering. Because you can actually build a process around this, and when we have built out our entire list of activities, we can start assigning them to people, create a planner task, or even create a task in your favorite task system and drive this process. That's what it's about. But let's take a step back. And I want to talk about us as consultants. This is a Microsoft 365 consultant. He always succeeds. And I also have a prop for this as well. This is a consultant with the glasses, with the mustache, because that's authority. Not with the sombrero though, but okay. But yeah, I got this. I can deliver Microsoft 365 for you. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to stay within scope, deliver on what I have promised, and then I'm going to say, good luck. And that's great. That's how we do it. And the customer is happy. Yeah, that's super awesome. And it's super awesome in 2021. It's super awesome in 2022. Super awesome in 2023. But if you're not running a process to improve your platform, stay on top of your platform, what you implemented in 2021 may not be the best practice half a year down the road, 1 year down the road. You need to stay on top of this. And also, the consultants deliver at scope, because that's how we do projects. And the scope is this box. But Microsoft 365 is not a box. It's a fluid cloud somewhere. I don't know where it is. It's not your data center. It's not my data center. Somewhere out there is a data center running it, always evolving, always expanding the scope. And turns out that the cloud doesn't care about scope. Just care about your data, your access. I think there are two drivers for sustainability here. And the first one is someone needs to own the roadmap after we have implemented Microsoft 365. And that someone should not be your operations partner, should not be that consultant that implemented this 2 years ago. It needs to be you. Doesn't mean that you need to know everything about Microsoft 365. You just need to take ownership over your own roadmap, not the Microsoft 365 roadmap, not like the official, like what's on the roadmap for the next 1 to 9 months, but what's on your roadmap? What did you not implement as part of that scope? What's your plan for moving to an even more secure environment, a more feature-rich environment. You need to take charge of this. Number 2, turns out Microsoft has figured this out for you. Yeah. It's in the secure score and compliance score. All you need to do is to tap into it. Right? You need to look at it, you need to digest it, and you need to build a process around it. The challenge is, though, you need admin access to get to the secure score and compliance score. And also the challenge is that it's not the technicians that should own this process. It is the managers, project managers, those who cares about this. And they typically don't get access to the platform. So how do we solve this? Well, let's take a look at the secure score and compliance score before I tell you the answer. I do have an answer to this. And the secure score is the oldest score. And I see customers look at it, looks great, and then that's it. When I ask consultants and customers alike, how are you looking at in using these scores? And they say, yeah, looked at it, looks good, it's there. All right. Well, what typically I say, though, it's not a champagne goal around the secure score. What do I mean with that? Yeah, I mean that you shouldn't celebrate getting to 90% because tomorrow you may be at 80 again, because Microsoft implemented 30 new measurements. So it's more about the process. The thing is, Microsoft has started with 30 actions, went up to, I think, 130. Now it's around 200 actions for you to improve and work on and bring into your process. Microsoft has this figured out and even explaining to you what's going on, how you should implement this feature. The compliance score has been there for quite some time, and Microsoft is tapping themselves on the back and saying, yes, we did 74% for you, now you do the rest for compliance. What I find interesting about compliance, it is not always just features in your platform. It's also about processes, documentations. What are you doing outside the platform? What are your routines? And what you may see is that, oh, should you have a routine around that? We didn't think about that. Yes, you should. And this is how what it should look like. Bring it into your process. And it's over 200 tasks here as well, actions that you can run with. It's getting expanded all the time. So, I have a 5-step approach for this, for running this process. I'm going to share with you right now the practical approach that you can get started with just as I say it, today. No extra software, everything you have access to. So let's do this. Number 1, download the CSV of the actions. Yep, you go in, download them, you get a CSV file, and it's formatted in a way that you see the action, you see the status of the action, and so on and so forth. But we want to add some more information. We want to add who is responsible for this and who is looking into this. There could be a difference between responsible person and looking into it. When did we test it? Have we updated the score? Those kind of things we want to add. And we want to add comments. This is how we drive the process. We need some more information. What's not in here, though, is the links to the docs articles, links to the different how-tos to improve that. I have created a script for this that you can download from GitHub today to organize this spreadsheet. And because I wanted to add those columns, so I typically spent an hour doing that. Now you can do it in seconds. You're welcome. So let's look at that running. And yeah, I'm going to show you right now. You download the CSV file, and run it, and there it is. In seconds. Next, you can find it on GitHub, by the way. And next is do the same for the secure score. So you download the CSV, and it's organized in a completely different way than the compliance score. So they're not compatible. But I got you. I actually showed you, the thing I showed you earlier, run it both for the secure score and the compliance score. So you mark the area again, and you run it. And in seconds, you have merged all the tasks for the compliance score and the secure score. After that, you need to go in and format as a table. So you open it in Excel and mark the area, format as a table, because then you can implement it into the Microsoft list, which you can do through Teams. And you then browse to the file, open it, and then you select what kind of fields there are. And we want like multiple choice, we want text fields, but we also want the person field. We cannot import that. We need to create that after, because we want the person field to be part of Azure Active Directory. So we want it to resolve to people, because then we can reuse it when we are creating planner tasks out of the actions that we want to do. So here we can even do conditional formatting for priority. And typically for what we want to do when you go through this is to set priority, like 1, 2, 3. 1 is high priority. And then we also want to set effort, where effort could be hours for low, medium is days and weeks, and high is months and years. So yeah, you can define it every way you want. And then you import the persons, and then you're there. Congratulations. Now you have the platform to run your process in. Super easy. Yep, you can do it actually faster than I told you right now. But this is the hard part. This is where everyone fails in this process. Super easy to get started with, super hard to succeed with. Because you need to go through all 400 plus tasks. And that takes time, turns out. It means that you actually need to work with it. And what I'm seeing is people are super excited about this. This is exactly what we wanted. And then nothing happens. And then my question is, why? Why doesn't it happen? And it's like, no, it's like time flies. Yeah. But do you remember the why we wanted to do this? Yeah, I get the overview and stuff, but we got busy with work. All right. Yeah, I get it. It's hard. Takes time. You need to invest in it. My suggestion when you're starting with this, in the beginning, reserve 1 day each week to go through this. Do a hackathon. As a process, reserve half a day each week as a hackathon, or just have the time reserved to work on this. Because you remember, when you know the why, you can live it anyhow. And yes, you need to work with this. So the process is that for populating this and finding the priorities, you need to go through and sit with the lists and the overview of what needs to be done side by side. So you need admin access to do that. And then you go in, understand the task, what Microsoft means about this. You figure out, do we know what they are talking about? If no, then probably it's a high effort task, because we need to go to a conference to learn about this. We need to contact Microsoft. We need to talk to FastStrike. We need to talk to our partner about this. But yeah, here's an example. This is from the secure score. enable multi-factor authentication for non-admins. This is actually a low-effort task. So something you already have implemented, you just need to get started with it and document it. Another example is and this is actually my favorite, I find interesting. Create an incident response plan. Do you have that? Yes, we have that, but do you have it in the context of Microsoft 365? Are you doing a crit sit when you're waiting for Microsoft to fix something? That's a waste of energy. So who can you ask? How can you find out if it's your problem, if it's your partner's problem, or if it's Microsoft's problem? Create that plan. After that, when you have gone through that process, that hard part I talked about, now the fun parts comes in. And when you have figured out that it has low effort, high priority, then let's do it. Let's find those 10 tasks that has that statement. Let's assign it to someone so they can implement it. What's the plan for implementation? Who is owning that and who is implementing that? And when we have done that, we assign it to someone. We use Power Automate to create a planner task. How cool is that? That's the fun part. Then you have a task, and you can follow up the task, look at the process, and all that. It's better to have 10 tasks that are valuable to you than 400 tasks that doesn't mean anything for you. That's just a lot of information with extra steps. I have a bonus for you. Step 6. Because we need to maintain this. Within the script I created, I also compare the old CSV file with a new one. Turns out that Microsoft has done a lot for the past, in 2021 really, where they implemented security around macOS, how to measure that. They have compliance also in the secure score about Teams. So they're always evolving this. They're detailing even more, and I love it. I love it when they come with more actions for us, because that means we don't need to invent them. That's what I like. So you can actually run this, and let's see how long it takes to run this. I'm looking. Maybe I should look over there. Yeah, let's look over there. Oh, it's finished. I didn't have time to take a look even. And let's take a look again. I missed it actually. Let's take a look again. So we mark the area, we run it, and we have 97 new tasks. How cool is that? Find it on GitHub, github.com/Ståle Hansen/public. You find like the create secure score and compliance score process. You're welcome, by the way. And the result is confidence. The result is you can take the glasses on yourself, and I am confident now. I have a plan. That's it. You have the mustache, you have the authority, and you can drive the process. And if the result is that this one becomes green, rested, even more happy, you know that the book Happiness Advantage says that happy people are more approachable, better at problem solving, just better colleagues. This is where we want to be. This is the process of getting there. And that's it. That's the process for taking ownership of your roadmap. Hope you found this interesting. And this is a process I personally believe in. If you have the why, the how, you can live it.